Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video. I am going to be reacting to an epic rap battles of history, and a couple days ago I did a poll of what epic rap battles of history people wanted to see, and 67% said they wanted to see Ivan the Terrible versus Alexander the Great. And I have both seen and heard this video several times, either on YouTube or YouTube Music. And I decided to do this because I kind of want to branch out instead of doing just all book reviews. And also, I do read a lot about some of the characters that are in ERB. So I will start doing more of those, maybe more of the history characters, because I do read a lot about history. And so what I'm going to do, and let me know what y'all think, I am going to let each person speak and then cut it and then dissect what they said, because I know a lot about Ivan the Terrible, and not as much as some of the other characters. And then at the end, I'm going to maybe say some fun facts that were not in the video itself, because there's only so much time in the ERBs, but they're really, really good. So let's get it started.
Alexander the Great. Ivan the Terrible! Nikolai, Krim to the Kremlin's arriving. Try to survive and no surviving. You're a land rule, I'm a land expander. You're the hand of your first loss. Alexander, school you like Aristotle. Smack your heart and then you hit that bottle. You're nothing but an overrated lust. I'll crush you. I'm the first czar of all of Russia. You're an asshole with an Anastoli. I'm heaven sent, divine and holy. So don't even try to approach the god, or you'll get a huge shock like Novgorod.
Okay, so Ivan starts off just saying how great he is and that he's better than Alexander the Great, and then he talks about how he expanded Russia and that he was the first Tsar of Russia, and which is true, he was the first Tsar of Russia, and he says, I'm heaven sent, divine, and holy, because until the end of until the Russian Revolution in 1918, Tsars did not have to answer to anybody. They thought they were God's anointed to rule Russia, and they crowned themselves because they thought that, it was God and then them. So I think that's really interesting. And then he talks about sacking Novgorod, which he did do. And it's just dissing how he's better than Alexander the Great. So that's really funny.
Hey fella, swell diss, but now you got the Panhellenist from Pella hella pissed. Stepping up's foolish as well as useless. Little Vasilevich, let me spell out the list. I brought foes to their knees in Phoenicia, breezed through Gaza to Giza, had the Balkans, Persia, Syria, Iraq, and Pakistan in my expansion pack. While you died in the middle of a game of chess, you got vodka bars, flavorless, and what I'm about to spit will be the craziest. So go fix me a drink so I can stay refreshed. Reach for the glory I got from winning every single war that I fought. So this'll be straightforward. I'll take up this sword that I brought and slice you in half like the Gordian knot. And I'll soar to the top like the eagle whose feather I was sporting. And the helmet that I wore as I swatted my many enemies, shattered them like a porcelain pot. And they'd be praying for the torture to stop, but I would leave them contorted and they'd be screaming and roaring until their vocal cords were torn up and shot. And I would howl abuse, Cephalid, hot from a horsey and draw. Win him in a vanquish, I'm in a motive, you're not.
I don't stand a chance against your skill. Althrovia, a drink to your victory.
Yes, I will. It seems no one can defeat me. I weep, it's all so easy.
Ooh, what's wrong?
I feel a bit queasy.
You were poisoned.
Oh, the pain is unbearable. My stomach's riddled with holes.
I'm terrible. There's no great who could defeat this Russian.
Okay, then Alexander starts off with saying that how, he conquered a big portion of the globe, but Ivan the Terrible, which is true, he did die playing a game of chess because they wanted they said he needed more relaxing activities, I think his doctor recommended. And so he did die during a game of chess, and which is hilarious. Out of all the things he could have died from, he got a stroke, I believe, playing a game of chess. But then Alexander also talks about how he tortured all these people when he invaded, and he disses vodka, which is really funny. And I love that they were able to get Bucephalus, who was Alexander the Great's warhorse, into a rap battle. That takes crazy skills. And then he makes the illusion that he was probably poisoned, and which there is something about that. So Ivan won that round because Alexander the Great is dead. So we have Ivan. Ivan's winning right now. But then there's a new character coming up. If you know, you know.
What about a flute busting Prussian? Alexander the Great, up the gate, first serving a state. Oblique attack, tactics ain't exactly straight. I've got creative talents and battle malice. How to steal on the field, genteel in the past. Much is fucked up, but I wonder why. With your tenders and target head, bears, oh my. Hey, you guys. I'd tear out my eyes if I had a look at your trophies every night. Now bring me my chair. I'm weary from tearing you a new derriere from here to Red Square. Fought a 7 years war. I ain't scared of a czar. Cause beating you only took me 12 hours.
Oh, what a humiliating defeat! I know when I am beat, so of course, take a seat.
I'd keep ripping you to shreds, but I'll take a break instead and just rest my little head.
Why don't you drop that, Fred?
Okay, so next we have Frederick the Great of Prussia, and first he talks about, how he was fairly musically inclined, which is true, and then he talks about, you can hear them say, "Old Fritz, old Fritz." He actually died of natural causes. He died after, wars and all that. He died sitting in his chair, and then he says, ain't exactly straight, he was bisexual. And he talks about how he did the 7 Years' War, and that and then he makes fun of Ivan and how he looks, and he mentions the Red Square, the Krasnaya Ploshets, in Russia, and which is kind of cool. And but he's dead, which is really sad, because in real life he probably outlived a bunch of people.
My expectations were a lot higher. But at least I saved the rubles on the garrote wire. It's another great day and another great victory, 'cause no great can beat me.
What about me, Pompey?
Yeah!
Macedonians, Prussians, and Romans, those unworthy opponents. It takes a Russian to take down a Russian. I'm a cat, you're a rodent. How are you to have my state when the state of your head was such a crazy one? There's such sick shit going through your brain that you stuck this spike through your own son. You're on balance like I on balance. The European powers with the wars I wage. Brought the Russian Empire straight out the olden days and right into the golden age. I'm a bus bitch, say you just can't meddle with this. Whole battle's like Alaska 'cause I settled it.
What a beautiful queen to beat me in a battle. Accept this gift, your highness, I hear you. Enjoy the saddle.
That whole story is a pile of shit, though I do keep jumping at the bit. But you're never gonna get it yet. Couldn't spin in my chamber if there's a Russian roulette. I'm picking up where Peter the Great left off. Bring sexy back to House Romanov. So don't call me queen, I'm far more great. Empress Desire, hey bitch, checkmate.
Hey, yeah! Who's there? Don't answer!
Okay, so Ivan has killed another person, and he does this little happy dance, and then Pompey comes in for a split second and then dies because in real life Pompey died of before giving a speech. And then the big climax comes in, and Catherine the Great comes in, and she starts dissing Vanya. Or Vanya, oh my gosh. I have a friend named Ivan, so I call him Vanya, so I want to call this Ivan Vanya. Okay, anyway, she starts insulting Ivan, but one thing she says is it takes a Russian to take out a Russian. And which is funny because she's actually from Prussia, and that she really, you know, became Russian in her. She spoke Russian fluently, and she really brought this Russian court into the Golden Age, which is something that she says. But then she asked Ivan, "Why are you the head of our state? When your state of your head is so crazy?" He was crazy. Uh, Ivan the Terrible had these architects that he wanted to build St. Isaac's Cathedral, and after they built it and he had it built, he blinded the architects so they wouldn't be able to create anything as beautiful as St. Isaac's Cathedral. And then she says, you set a spike through your own son, which is true. Ivan the Terrible was beating his pregnant daughter-in-law, and his son, stepped in and he stabbed his son. And then he says, she makes different allusions to, that she brought Russia into the Golden Age, which is true. And she picked up where Peter the Great left off, which is true. She really made Russia, something to be, instead of these, like, backwater, she made it a place of culture. And then she said, and then Vanya, not Vanya, Ivan. Ivan said, here's this gift, Your Highness. I hear you enjoy the saddle. And that was a rumor that because Catherine the Great was so sex crazed that she died having sex with a horse, which is not true. And then she says that whole story is a pile of S. It was also rumored that she died on the toilet, which she died of a stroke in real life. And then at the end she says, Empress to Tsar 8, checkmate. And that's another illusion that she died, that Ivan died during a game of chess. And I think that Catherine won because she took down Ivan, but then Ivan is a close second because he kept killing everybody. And I have some fun facts about some of these characters that I've known throughout history. One is that Ivan the Terrible proposed marriage to Elizabeth I of England, and the English found a trade route to Russia and started into the fur trade. And then Ivan the Terrible proposed marriage to Queen Elizabeth I. And where's that fanfiction? I want to know that fanfiction. And I want to see that fanfiction or that story. Where's that? I don't know if there's a book about that. Let me know in the comment section. And then about Catherine the Great. Catherine the Great actually met Frederick the Great a few times, and the first time that they met, they were being introduced, and Frederick the Great wanted her to, show obeisance to him. Wanted Catherine to show obeisance to him, but she, without skipping a beat, because she was like 4 or 5 years old, she said, "Well, you need to come down to my level so I can reach you." And then she also stayed with Frederick the Great when they were making the journey towards Russia so she could marry Peter III, which is really interesting. And let me know what epic rap battles you want to see. I really thought Rasputin versus Stalin would win, but this one won. And I would like ERB to do either Queen Victoria versus Queen Elizabeth I, or Queen Victoria versus Queen Elizabeth II, because they are the longest reigning British monarchs. So I will see you all in the next video. Let me know what you think about this particular video and how it's phrased and everything, or set up. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.